Elizabeth Hale, stepped down from the dusty stagecoach, violin case tucked carefully under her arm. The small frontier town of Red Bluff wasn't much to look at: weathered buildings, creaking saloon doors, wind tossing dirt across the main road. But tonight, she was supposed to bring it music. Her first show west of Missouri, and she needed everything to go right. But fate had other plans. She opened her case to tune up, and froze. One of her violin strings had snapped clean through. Her heart dropped. Replacement strings were scarce out here. No music meant no show. No show meant no pay. And no pay meant she was stranded. She sat on the bench outside the general store, feeling the defeat settle in her chest. Townsfolk walked by without a glance, except one. Harvey Thompson, a quiet ranch hand with sunburned cheeks and a soft, unsure gaze, halted mid-step when he saw her distress. He cleared his throat, hat twisting nervously in his hands. "Ma'am, if you don't mind me sayin', that looks like a fixable problem." Elizabeth looked up surprised. "You know violins?" He shrugged. "Not exactly, but I fix reins, saddles, fence wire, fixin's. Kinda what I do." Something gentle flickered in his eyes. Something steady. She hesitated, but hope tugged. "It's worth a try," she said softly. Harvey sat beside her, handling the violin like it was made of glass. His fingers were calloused, yet careful, and his brow furrowed in concentration as he worked. The quiet between them felt warm, not awkward, comforting. In minutes, he tied a clever knot, reinforced it, and adjusted the tension. "Try her now," he murmured. Elizabeth drew the bow. A clear, sweet note filled the air, pure as morning light. Her breath caught. "You fixed it." Harvey looked away shyly. "Just did what I could." But she saw it, the spark of pride, the kindness, the humility. She smiled, truly smiled for the first time that day. "Why was it? You may have just saved my show." He flushed pink beneath his hat brim. "Happy to help, Miss Elizabeth." As she packed up, her fingers brushed his light as the note that still hung in the air. Neither of them pulled away. The melody between them had begun. Elizabeth returned to her room at the boarding house, but her thoughts stayed on the man who saved her performance. Harvey's gentle concentration, his soft voice, the way he seemed more comfortable fixing a broken string than meeting her eyes. She found herself replaying it all as she prepared for the evening. Red Bluff's community hall filled quick when word spread of a violinist in town. Lanterns flickered, boots scuffed wood, people murmured with excitement. But Harvey, he lingered at the far wall away from the crowd, half hidden in the shadows, like he didn't want to be seen. When Elizabeth began to play, the room quieted instantly. Her music rose warm and bright, drifting like sunlight across the prairie. The audience swayed and sighed, but Harvey stood utterly still, gaze fixed only on her, as if every note reached him deeper than the rest. When her final song ended to loud applause, Elizabeth stepped off stage and made her way toward him. Harvey stiffened, clearly ready to flee. "Don't go," she said gently. "I wanted to thank you properly." He rubbed the back of his neck. "Didn't do much. You saved the whole night. That's more than much." His gaze dropped to his boots. "Just glad it helped." Elizabeth tilted her head, studying him. "You remind me of someone who speaks better with actions than words." Harvey chuckled softly. "Words get stuck on me sometimes. But your hands," she said, holding up her violin, "say, plenty." His breath hitched just barely, but she caught it. A moment stretched between them. "Let me walk you back," Harvey offered suddenly, surprising even himself. She nodded, and they stepped into the cool night together. Stars shimmered above them. Their footsteps fell in rhythm, quiet but in perfect time. "Do you fix everything that crosses your path?" she teased. "Only what looks worth fixing." She glanced at him. "And how do you decide that?" He swallowed. "Sometimes you just know." Elizabeth's chest tightened. This man, shy as a rabbit but steady as oak, was unraveling her more than she expected. They reached the boarding house steps, neither wanting to say goodnight. "See you tomorrow?" she asked softly. Harvey nodded. Wouldn't miss it. And for the first time, he held her gaze. Elizabeth found Harvey early the next morning at the ranch outside town, tending to a skittish mare. He looked surprised, then happy to see her. "Didn't expect you out here," he said quietly. "I wanted to play something for you," she replied, lifting her violin case. He blinked. "For me, if you don't mind." Harvey stepped back, suddenly nervous but trying not to show it. Elizabeth drew her bow, and the first soft notes floated over the pasture. The music was slow, warm, gentle as a sunrise. Harvey stopped brushing the mare and simply listened. Really listened. No crowd, no lanterns, no applause. Just Harvey, just Elizabeth, and a melody that felt like it belonged only to them. When she finished, Harvey's eyes glistened, not enough to be obvious, but enough for her to see. That was something real. Elizabeth, her heart steadied. "You inspire real." He coughed, flustered. "I ain't much more than a ranch hand. You're kind. You're honest. You fixed something precious to me. That's not much." He met her eyes, and something new flickered their courage. "Walk with me," he asked. They wandered the pastures, talking softly. Harvey opened up slowly, how he'd grown up working cattle, how words didn't come easy, how he'd always felt like a background shadow in town. Elizabeth shared her own loneliness traveling town to town, performing for strangers, never knowing where home truly was. "Do you ever think of stinnin' in one place?" Harvey asked. "Sometimes," she admitted, "if the right place or person ever gave me a reason." Five stopped walking. Elizabeth's breath caught. He stepped closer, slow and respectful. "Elizabeth, I ain't bold, but I'm trying. Because I..." Suddenly, the ranch foreman shouted Harvey's name from the barn, breaking the moment. Harvey stepped back, flustered and apologizing. Elizabeth smiled softly. "Finish your thought later." He nodded. Later, but the look they shared lingered like a promise unspoken. Late afternoon painted Red Bluff in golden light as Elizabeth prepared for her second performance. Harvey arrived early, carrying a small wooden box he'd carved himself. "I made this for your strings," he said, handing it to her. "So they don't get damaged again." She opened it. A handcrafted case, smooth and polished, made with undeniable care. "It's beautiful, Harvey," she breathed. "Thank you." He flushed. "Just wanted to help." She touched his hand. "You do more than you know." That touch ignited something brave in him. "After your show, could we talk properly this time?" She smiled. "I'd like that." Her performance that evening was brighter, livelier because Harvey filled her thoughts. When she played, she searched the audience until she found him. He didn't hide tonight. He stood in the open, hands in pockets, watching her like she was the only star in the sky. Afterward, they stepped outside into the twilight. Crickets sang. The world felt made for confession. Harvey inhaled slowly. "Elizabeth, you're courageous in ways I ain't. But being around you makes me want to try." She stepped closer. "Harvey, I ain't fancy. I ain't good with pretty words. But when you play, it feels like you're mendin' something in me I didn't realize was broken." Elizabeth's chest tightened with warmth. "And you mend things in me too," he exhaled shakily. "I want to be around you, more than these few days." She touched his cheek gently. "I feel the same." He closed his eyes for one heartbeat, then opened them with new resolve. "Could I, please?" she whispered. He kissed her soft, careful, but filled with every unspoken word he couldn't voice. Elizabeth's hands rose to his shoulders. The world fell away in a single, perfect harmony. When they parted, Harvey's voice was low. "Guess I finally said what I meant." She laughed softly and beautifully. But tomorrow, Elizabeth was supposed to leave town, and that truth pressed between them like a shadow. Dawn crept over Red Bluff as Elizabeth packed her belongings. Her next show lay miles away. Her contract expected her. Her life was on the road, but her heart kept replaying Harvey's kiss. A knock sounded. Harvey stood there, hat in hand, trying to mask the hurt in his eyes. "You're Lavinie," he said softly. "I have to. People are expecting me. It's my job." He nodded slowly. "I ain't gonna stop you. Just wanted to say thank you for the music. For seeing me." His voice cracked slightly. Elizabeth stepped closer. Harvey. Last night wasn't just magic, it was truth. But I don't know how to give up everything I've built. He swallowed hard. I know, and I'd never ask. Silence. Stretched, painful, tender, full. Then Harvey surprised her. But if you ever decide you want a place to land, I'll be here. I ain't going anywhere. Elizabeth's throat tightened. This, man quiet, steady, real had given her more than kindness. He'd given her a choice she never had before. She reached into her violin case, pulling out the handcrafted string box he gave her. This, she said softly, is the first thing that's ever felt like home. Harvey's breath caught. Elizabeth continued, and maybe, I don't want a wandering life anymore. Not if it means losing something like you. Hope flickered in his eyes, cautious, then growing. Elizabeth, are you saying what I think you're saying? She smiled tearfully. I'm saying I'm staying. Harvey stepped forward, lifting her into his arms as relief and joy washed over his features. Their kiss this time was stronger, certain, full of promise. Red Bluff's morning sun shone warm on them, as if sealing the choice. Elizabeth had found her melody. And it was not just music, it was Harvey. And, as the story closed, she whispered against his chest, some songs are meant to stay. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Western stories.